UVA basketball back in the gym. Sam Hauser joins us. JWILLY's best and more. Welcome to the JWILLY Show, sponsored by Moji Masala, your Indian spice delight. Log on to mojimasala.com for all of the delicious spices. I'm your host, Mark Jerome, and the other gentleman on your screen is, of course, the best assistant coach in the ACC, Jason Williford.
What's
DJ
up?
YB.
YB, what's happening?
DJ YB, thanks for providing the beats.
What up, man?
Hey,
what up,
hey,
y'all hear me?
We
Yes,
hear you
sir.
fine, man. Appreciate the love, appreciate the intro. Hey, tell the people what you up to, Y. Tell the people what you're doing.
Hey, catch me on YB Wednesdays. That's what we call it. Every Wednesday. Right now, we on Facebook. If it ain't on Facebook, it's on Instagram, maybe Twitch. But we going, this Wednesday, we doing all slow jams, trying to make some Corona babies on Wednesday. Yeah. We're trying to make some Corona twins. One gonna be Corona, the other Quarantina.
Hey, YB and JWILLY, I don't know how many people are aware you guys were student athletes at the same time. And not only that, we're roommates. YB,
Hey,
YB, keep it PG.
hey, listen.
Keep it PG, YB. But how has JWILLY changed since you were roommates with him to now?
Man, just one word, maturity. Because he was an immature roommate is what he was. He used to pull pranks on me all the time. And they always went left. They were never successful. It always ended up with me about to call the police or something like that, or somebody about to be sick. You know, I got him back a couple times. Like I can remember fire extinguishers right offhand and stuff like that. But I mean, hey, we lived together 3 out of 4 years at UVA. So it's like when you would see me, you see him. Even at the events after we graduated, people see me, they still would ask, where's JWILLY? And I'm sure he got the same thing a lot, you know, but now that he's a coach, JWILLY, you know, our relationship has changed because one, he's at my alma mater, which is so personal to me. And, you know, of course, there's no other team that I root on. I got my Dallas Cowboys hat on, but I don't root for Dallas like I root for UVA, of course. And so it's like I have to not protect him, but, you know, when people are trying to get at him through me sometimes, I try to control that, you know what I mean? Because I don't want but so much stress and pressure on my coach because we got things to do. We're doing them, but we got to keep doing them. You know what I mean?
I do. So a couple of weeks ago, or several weeks ago, we had, I think it was Junior Burrow. I want to say it was Junior Burrow talking about JWILLY as a player and getting kicked out of practice.
Yeah,
Jeff Jones. Do you remember any of those times?
Yeah. Well, one time I got kicked out of practice with him, but that was before practice even started.
What happened?
Well, we were on a losing streak. I'm gonna keep it's clean. Okay. We were on a losing streak, and I think it was over Christmas break. Jason got bored. We lost maybe 3 road games in a row, and so we get to practice, and coach has the door to the practice room, to the locker room taped up. Like we can't go in there. Maybe there's a sign saying go to the visitor locker room. So we didn't quite get that was punishment. So Jason, he had a bright idea. Well, let's go see what's going on in here anyway. So we go in there. He decided, well, you know what? Let's just change the furniture around. So he changes all the furniture around in the locker room, right? And we kind of forget what we did, that we did it. Then now we're in practice in the visitors' locker room. Coach is pissed off because that's what they do when you lose. That's how they are when you lose 3 games in a row. And the first question he asked is, I mean, it's a layup. Does anybody know why we're in here? And Corey Alexander must have gone in the locker room. our original locker room and saw that the furniture was rearranged, that's the only idea I could think of as to why he raised his hand and said to Coach Jones, "Are we getting new furniture?" and Jason looks at me, and we're both, you know, that laughter you're trying to cover up. and Coach says, "Jason and Yuri, if there's anything funny, you can get the blank out right here." He kicked us out with that. Yeah. He kicked us out with that.
Oh, man. Hey, I don't know if I like all these stories, Mark. These dudes got too much. They got too much on me, man. Too much dirt.
Well,
Jason, now I think about it, I mean, I keep thinking of more practices that he got. It's at least 3 that he got kicked out of. There's at least 3. One, he kicked the ball in the stand.
you heard that one.
Yeah, one, he threw the ball at one of my teammates. Like, it wasn't a pass either, you know what I mean? So.
Intentionally trying to hit somebody in the head.
No, he was just frustrated. When Jason is frustrated, or this is the old Jason, when he's frustrated or bored, trouble is probably going to come. Bored and frustrated.
I gotta tell you, it's coming back to bite him a little bit in the rear end, because I don't know if you're aware of it. He had to homeschool his younger son.
No doubt.
And his younger son gave him fits.
It came right back.
So, you know what? If you believe in karma. Yeah. All right.
No doubt.
YB, thanks for the stories. Everyone be sure to check out YB every Wednesday night. His Hypnotic Flow on Facebook, on his page on Facebook Live. Thanks, YB. And you're going to come back and join us at the end, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Coach, how was your week?
It was good. I actually, we started workouts last week and now today, and I literally just ran in, threw on my polo, and got right here set up for the show. Like, I'm literally maybe no more than 5-10 minutes from getting home from the gym. So it's been good. It's good to see you guys.
I'm going to get back to that in a second, but I'm curious to know, there are lots of AAU tournaments going on this weekend, and a lot of them are shown through live stream. Did you get a chance to watch any?
I didn't. I actually, we've got them on film. We've got some that we can go back and they're in archives, so I'll be able to watch those this week. But I went to see my folks Saturday, and then Sunday I just spent some time with the boys. We went fishing, and it was a little family time. So I didn't watch too much. You know, it's some of the quality of the video has been hard, so I've been a little frustrated with some of the live streams. So I'll get to it this week.
Right. Nothing more important than family time.
Well, I've had a lot of that.
The champs are back in the gym. A lot of us saw the picture of TB with the gloves and the mask, and some of the fellas. Did you? And what's it been like so far for you guys?
You know, we obviously, I think we're one of the few schools that waited as long as we did. NCAA allowed you to start July 20th with workouts, being in the gym. And so we went right up until that point. And so we got in there. It's different because you're one guy to a basket trying to do some a lot of individual skill things. And today we graduated to a little bit more one-on-one and some defensive slide work. Of course, we're going to work on that. So the first week was just getting them acclimated back to the gym, seeing where they were from a conditioning standpoint.
One of your guys, who I assume has been in the gym, now joining us, Sam Hauser. Sam, thanks so much for joining us. Last time I saw you, we were in the locker room with the guys watching the NBA All-Star game right before we all went to go check out the Lumineers in concert.
Yeah, that was a good time. Can you hear me all right through this mask?
We can hear you.
Great.
So, Mark, just so everybody's aware, the rule is anywhere on grounds, you got to be masked. And in any building on grounds, the guys have to be masked. So we're taking every precaution necessary to try to get the season going and just be smart about it. So I appreciate seeing you mass up, Sam. That's good.
It's big
Sam,
time.
how's your summer been going?
It's been going good. We're glad to be back. Quarantine was really weird. It was weird being home for that long, being a 22-year-old now. So I'm happy to be back and getting on the court with the guys and really getting to know my new teammates and stuff like that. So I'm just excited.
Were you able to stay in shape and get in the gym when you were home?
Yeah, for the most part. Right away when quarantine was going on, I didn't really have access to much. But then this one little gym opened up in our town. So we went there. It was only like a half court, but it was a lot better than nothing. And it was nice having Joey around to play one-on-one with and stuff. And so I was able to get some pretty good work in.
You've had quite an experience at UVA. Your first year, your third year, your first year at UVA ends with coronavirus, and it's starting out with coming on grounds with a mask, walking around and short abbreviated practice time. Other than that, what are the differences between the grounds at UVA and Marquette?
I think this Virginia in general just has a more college feel to it, whereas Marquette is a nice campus and everything, but it's more like downtown Milwaukee is like right next to campus, so it has a really different feel. But if you really want like a full college experience, like Virginia has that for sure, and that's really the biggest difference that I've noticed.
Sam got to go to football games. He couldn't do that at Marquette.
Yeah, missed that. I missed that.
Tim, you bring a value that's so unique in basketball, fairly unique. I can't think of too many guys that have the dual role that you bring and you provide, and that you're an excellent shooter and you rebound the heck out of the ball too. Your first year at Marquette, you shot 45% from three. Your second year, just under 50, and third year over 40. And your third year at Marquette, you had over 7 rebounds that year. And as we know, shooting was an area that UVA needed last year, and you're going to clearly provide that along with some other stellar players coming in and the experience. How good can UVA be next year if there's a season?
Sam, remember our pillar of humility also.
Right.
All right.
No, I think we got a chance to be really good. I mean, last year's team competed because the defense was so good, so we need some carryover from that, obviously. I think offensively we'll be better than last year because we add a few shooters into the lineup. So, and I think guys are also get another year under their belt. And you have more experience. So I think that's a big key in college basketball, I think, experience. So with losing Mamadi and Braxton was hard, but we have a lot of guys who have potential to fill those roles. And I think if we can just stick to the basics, pay attention to the details, lock in on the defensive end, we got a chance to do a lot of big things this year.
Yeah. I spoke to JWILLY about this a couple of weeks ago on a show, and one of the ESPN experts picked you guys, I think, third or fourth or fifth. I can't remember right now. Joe Lunardi, I believe it was Joe Lunardi, which is pretty incredible, right? To be picked that high out of 350 some teams or 360, whatever the number is, Division I teams. Is that a reality for you guys to think that you can return to the Final Four?
I mean, I think we all believe it. Obviously, we gotta stick to the game plan and take it one day, one game at a time. So, but it's cool to be recognized like that. I mean, pressure is a privilege, and we're just excited for the season.
Yeah. All right. Clearly, you're following JWILLY's instructions on, and I'm glad you are. I truly am glad you are.
And he's one of the most confident guys on the team. Between him and Justin McCoy, I'm not sure who's the most confident, but they don't lack for confidence, Mark. So I just wanted the folks to understand that we do preach humility within the program.
I know you preach it, but you also get a lot of guys who are humble.
I walked outside and you were not outside.
Yeah, no, we do. Sam, who are you with?
Kihei.
Tell Kihei to be quiet, man. I just left you guys. Doesn't he know it's the JWILLY Show?
I'm trying to tell him.
Hey,
Kihei was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago. He had his shine.
He's trying to get some more action.
I guess so. Can we just say hi to Kihei?
Yeah, here you go.
What's up, Wee?
Jay Willie.
I hope you're going to get a haircut.
Or
He said you
braid.
hope you're getting a haircut.
Kihei, always good to see you. All right. Your brother goes to Michigan State. You come to UVA. What was that conversation like when you guys were deciding to separate?
Honestly, we just talked about it. We said, just do whatever's best for you. And for me, I had better feelings about Virginia, and he had better feelings about Michigan State. And we both thought that both schools would be best fit for us individually, and that's kind of what it came down to. Originally, we thought we were going to go together, but it didn't work out like that, and that's okay. And we're each other's biggest supporters, so we're not too worried.
You made it kind of hard for your parents. You know that, right?
I know, and a lot of travel for them coming up.
Hey, Sam, I got a question, Mark. I'm gonna jump in real quick. Sam.
Yeah.
Favorite place on grounds, and tell the folks something about yourself that they don't know.
Favorite place on grounds, you said?
Yeah, or in Charlottesville.
Ooh. I like the downtown strip in general.
The downtown
It's a
mall.
cool little spot. I like going there, yeah. There's a lot to do.
What's your favorite food spot down there?
Favorite food? What's that pizza place? Lampo, right?
That's a good spot.
Yeah, I like that spot.
And then tell the folks something about yourself that they wouldn't know.
Let's see. I took piano lessons for 4 years, and I can still play a little bit. So, yeah.
We're going to bring up something later that both of you have a mutual liking for. Sure.
Okay.
But, you know, your brother picked Michigan State. A lot of UVA fans don't want to see Michigan State in the NCAA tournament, right? And I think it was 2014. UVA lost to Michigan State in the Garden by 2.
Yeah.
I happened to be at that game. Unbeknownst to us, Ty would later end up at UVA. 2015 in Charlotte, lost to Michigan State. I was also at that game.
I want Michigan State.
I do too.
That'd be fun.
I do too. If you guys were to meet Michigan State in the tournament, who do your parents root for?
Oh, I hope they root for me.
Kind of like
senior year.
This is like asking you who your parents' favorite child is.
I know, right? I don't know who. I don't think they would pick a side. I think they'd just be happy with whoever ended up on top. But I kind of hope they'd lean towards me because it's my last year. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If I ever have a conversation with them, I'm going to suggest that they root for you.
Yeah.
Brother will have 2 more years.
Yeah.
Right.
So that'd be fun, though. That would be a dream come true for our family.
Yeah, sure. Are you glad you sat out last year? Or would you
I mean,
play?
No, I don't think I would have done it differently. Looking back on it, I think I missed the whole offseason going in my junior year because of hip surgery, and I think this redshirt year was able to make up for that lost time. I think I got a lot better at my game, improved a lot of areas, and obviously got to get to know my teammates and have my teammates get to know me. So I think that was a really important year for me, and I wouldn't have done anything differently.
What hip surgery did you have?
I had torn labrum and had some other stuff. It was kind of messed up, but it's all good now.
I'm very familiar with that. Both of my sons, double hip surgery simultaneously.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I'll say this. Sam was great. His redshirt sit-out year. He was another coach on the floor. You know, he coached during games. He'd come up and whisper in your ear, you know, hey, do this, run this, you know, look at this action. Like he was so into what we were doing and locked in. It just gave you another set of eyes. He was really good, and he was a leader from the sideline in that regard. So it was really good.
Yeah, at the beginning of practice last year, I walked in the gym and I saw you playing, and I was extremely impressed. And that makes sense to me because your IQ is so high on the court, and your awareness is so great on the court that clearly I could easily see him doing that and being a coach on another coach. What did you think of the 3-point line being extended last year?
I I don't know. It didn't really affect me as much. I mean, obviously, took a dip in numbers a little bit, but overall, I don't think it was too much of a difference. But for some guys, it's different.
Yeah.
But once you get used to it, I think it just is normal. I think that's with anything. I mean, even if you shoot NBA threes enough, you're going to get used to that. So I think you just have to adjust to it a little bit, but I don't think it made a huge difference.
All right.
I do think it helps space the floor more and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Sam, I'm gonna ask you this, and I know it's been less than 2 weeks that we've been back, but so far, who's been a pleasant surprise of the incoming guys or the new guys that you notice in workouts? And I know you guys probably sneak off and been getting extra shots somewhere. Tell me who you've been surprised with.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see what Jabri can do. Obviously, he's been hurt for a while, but just seeing him in the few workouts, getting back used to things has been cool to see. I think Justin's looked really good as well. He put in a lot of work. You can really tell for sure, and I think that was probably one of the biggest things I noticed coming back to school.
All right, we are live on Facebook on the UVA Hoops page. We have a couple of questions from the UVA Hoops group. The first one is from Martha Hicks. This is about the pandemic going on and surrounding you guys. The first two are about that. How often do you guys get tested, players and coaches?
So we're going every other week, Mark. So the guys came back. They got tested when they first came back. They quarantined for a week. So our protocol was when they were at home, they did a week at home quarantine, and you know, we had Zoom meetings. We would meet in that entire week, almost every night that week, just to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to do. And so they tested the Monday they got here. They tested the Monday after a week of quarantine here in Charlottesville. And then we'll go every 2 weeks of testing. That'll be players and staff.
That, you know, something to talk about in the future, maybe in the next show, about in terms of budget and how that's going to impact budgets around the college world of sports.
I don't know how much longer we can even maintain that regimen of testing. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, because it may have to happen 2 or 3 times a week if the season happens, right? And that's a lot of, you know, that's probably about $3,000-$4,000 every time it's tested.
I can't imagine, and obviously with us being in the pandemic, I can't imagine they budgeted for that in addition to some of the cuts that we're having to take.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, we're doing our best to keep the guys in our quote unquote bubble, the bubble that we can. It'll be interesting to see how all of that transpires when students get back late August. So.
Yep. This one's from John Hammond. If the season is canceled, and of course we're all hoping it's not, what's the future for Sam Hauser?
I really hope it doesn't get canceled. It's hard to say, though. I mean, I can't really say anything right now until it happens. That's kind of the way I operate. I kind of just roll with it until I need to start looking past things and make a decision. But at this moment, I just want the season to happen because I think we have a really good chance of doing a lot of big things. So I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. From my podcast partner, Dougie Fresh Smith. He wanted to ask a couple of questions.
Lord knows.
I'm not ask his original question. We're going to save that for the next time you come on a podcast. I told him that. You could only imagine what he wanted to ask you. What did you work on most this summer?
I worked a lot on my ball handling, and I'm still trying to get better at my defense. I think that always needs improvement. But I really, really worked hard on handling the ball better and trying to create for myself a little bit more, just to step up my game and bring it to a new level.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Willie, I'm going to ask this question while Sam is still on the phone, while Sam is still with us, and it may embarrass him a little bit. How good is Sam?
Sam's good. He's really good. He's very complete. Does a little bit of everything. He's still got some work to do on that defensive side. but that's everybody. I mean, that's just, and he'll get better at that. Obviously, that's our emphasis. But from an offensive standpoint, he shoots it, he passes it, he handles it. He can do a lot of different things and play multiple positions on that side of the floor. And so his versatility is really good. And I think over the last few years, DeAndre, Braxton, and Sam kind of fills that role. Being able to be versatile at that forward position is why we've taken off and gone where we've gone. And I think Sam follows in those footsteps. I don't know if he'll be all ACC defensive player of the year, but he sure could be first team and all ACC with his offensive prowess.
Yep. Is there a player that you can think of in the history of UVA that Sam reminds you of?
Oh wow. No, I comparing him to DeAndre, obviously offensively being able to be versatile. It just from my recollection, he's not like anybody I ever played with during my era or even the eras in between. He's very, very good on that offensive end, and I'm knocking on wood that we get to see him perform this season.
Yep. So, Sam, we talked about this before. One of my buddies who coaches at Marquette had let me in on that you are a avid fisherman, right? I don't know, Jay Willie, were you aware of that?
But Sam's got he's got many hobbies. He fish. He's a very good golfer. Like Sam's a man of many. I didn't know about the piano, so he's a man of many talents.
And Sam, did you know that Jay Willie's a fisherman?
I mean, yeah, I knew that. I wouldn't say I'm an avid fisherman. I go if I get invited to go, I'll go and I'll have a fun time. But I gotta get out with Jay Willie one of these times.
Yeah. Well, Devin Hall spent some time with Jay Willie fishing while he was there, so I think it would only be right if you got a chance to go too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Mark, I just sent Devin a picture of me when I must have been 14 catching this big bluefish off the Outer Banks down in Cape Hatteras. And I caught it in the surf. And so Devin's been posting all of those smallmouth bass that they're catching down in Orlando. I said, man, here's a fish. And this thing, it must have been about a 20-pound blue. It was big. So I sent him that. I said, this is what real fishermen do.
You know he's going to come back with a fishtail.
Oh, I know.
You know that. I think, so folks, it should also be noted that Sam was ACC honor roll, member of the ACC honor roll team last year. Congratulations, Sam.
Appreciate it.
And your major is youth and social innovation.
Right.
What is that?
It's very broad. It's more for like people who want to teach and like are looking into education policy. But me, I have like interest in coaching. So I guess some of the stuff relates to me, but some of it just really doesn't. But that's why you network. And I think I have a lot of networking options for when I'm done playing that I could probably find a job somewhere. But this major kind of focuses on leadership and kind of how to handle kids and stuff like that.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us. People should know that you have an extremely welcoming personality, and we're all wishing you the best of luck and look forward to seeing you and hopefully, crossing my fingers, on the court.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, Sam, thanks for jumping on. I know we're just getting out of the gym, so go get you some dinner and finish studying for the night.
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Tell Key we said bye.
I will.
Jay Willie, I'm going to assume, and I know what they say about assuming, but did Soderbergh have anything to do with recruiting him, or was that TB?
That's a very good assumption, Mark. Both Soderbergh and Tony. Obviously, he grew up right there in Stevens Point, where Brad's from. Tony spent some time. I want to say his earlier years were in Stevens Point. they know everybody back in that area. So yes, having those connections, and we recruited Sam out of high school, so there was some familiarity with he and his family. So, but definitely Brad being able to go back in there and Tone, we had some work to do, but it having those relationships helped a ton.
I'm sure. All right, it's now time for JWILLY's best.
Let's go.
You got 2 out of 3 last week. And there's no right or wrong. So you actually you answered 2 out of 3 last week.
I'm ready.
All right. Question 1.
Ooh.
UVA Jams. Have you seen this?
Yes. Yes.
I think I've already heard you say who is the best dunk, or what's the best dunk that you can remember.
I just know, what did we last week or last time we were on, I knew Justin and Adam Hall were like the best leapers, period. Like there's nobody that jumps higher than those two. But are you asking me to pick the champion out of these semifinals?
I'm asking for you to pick who you think had the best dunk.
Hands down, the best dunk I've ever seen at UVA was Mustafa's dunk on the kid from NC State. It was filthy. DT's was close, but DT he didn't stick the landing. Mustafa stuck the landing. and Adam Hall, I mean, I don't know what, you could go in the archives. That dude dunked on everybody, but Mustafa, I'm going with Mustafa for the win.
Can my man J Love get a little bit of love, a little bit of mention?
I love J Huff, but J Huff's 7'1". He's supposed to do this. Moo was 6'2", and the dunk that he did, Moo was a lefty.
Yeah.
The dunk he did, he dunked with his right hand. Like, that was filthy. It was one of the best dunks I've seen in person here at UVA.
So on the Foch's Corner, Phony Bennett show,
yeah,
that's what he points out, that he was
right.
lefty and he did it with his right hand, which raises and increases the level of difficulty.
Right.
All right.
However, I do, if my memory serves correct, Moo might have been a better jumper off of his left leg, dunking with his right hand, even though he was a lefty. It was a little weird.
I played with somebody like that in high school who was a righty but dunked on people left-handed.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. All right, number 2.
Go ahead.
Most underrated. And by the way, 3 of these guys we just recently did podcasts with: Travis Watson, Jerome Miense, and Devin Smith.
Most.
And folks, please check out those podcasts on lockerroomaccess.com, Spotify, and Apple. What do you got, J. Willie?
Wow. See, there's no way Travis Watson was underrated. Travis got a lot of love. I would say.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he had a great career.
He had a heck of a career. So
I'm sorry. Let me correct something. His podcast is not out yet. It'll be coming out later this week.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say I coached Jerome, and I thought Jerome, from what I remember of him with Coach Lato and where he finished with us, he came a long way. We squeezed some good mileage out of the big fella. But I'm gonna stick with someone in that first row, and I'm gonna say either Jason Kane or Devin Smith, to me, were very underrated. And I know Devin had a heck of a career overseas. I don't know if he got as much attention here. And see, this is hard, Mark, because this is in the midst of my playing career. Like I didn't see a lot of these dudes. And I was up at BU.
And Dev Smith was a transfer.
He transferred in.
Yeah.
He was a JUCO transfer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I'm You know who I'm gonna go with, and people might be shocked. I'm going with Jason Kane. Very underrated.
I've heard that already. I don't know how many people are going to be shocked. So I think you have quite a few people who agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. Your next question I'm going to ask you, I'm a little concerned that you're going to back out of it like you did last week, the best guard. Have you changed that yet from other? No?
No, I'm sticking with other. And you know how hard
UVA
this
player
one?
to leave early. I'm sorry.
Huh?
For best UVA player to leave early. That was the question that you didn't answer last week.
It was other. I'm sticking with other.
Right.
Other was an option. You guys should not have put other up there. Oh my goodness. Do you know how hard this is?
This was my concern that you were going to try to pull in. Well, we don't have other up there tonight.
I mean, I played with these guys. I coached these
We know
guys.
you play with them. They were in your weddings. You coached them. We get it.
I'm best backcourt in UVA history.
That is tough.
Hey man, hey listen. One of these guys coached me, and they had like Jeff Jones and Jeff Lamp. Like that was what they did during that time. Oh my God! But I'm gonna punk out, and no, I'm gonna stick with my guns here. If you win a national championship, and what those two guys did in 3 years for us, I'm going with Jerome and Guy, and that's my final answer. Winning it all kind of trumps with some of these guys, and Stokes and Stokes and Wilson, Brogdon, Parentes were really good. Like, Reynolds and Singletary were really good. My hope is Beekman and McCorkle can live up to Jerome and Guy and get us another one. But I'm going with Jerome and Guy. That's it.
I'm proud of you. I'm very
That's it?
proud of you.
Huh? Are you shocked that I made a call?
I am.
No, I mean, come on.
I'm not shocked. I'm just proud of you. I was concerned you weren't going to do it.
Those dudes got a national championship, man. It don't get better than that.
No, nothing could beat that. I'm not saying that was the best backcourt, but I mean that's a good formula for picking your best backcourt.
Yeah, I mean, you could go a bunch of different ways. That one was tougher than the other one.
Oh, best player to leave early?
Yeah, the backcourt was tougher than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was hard. Oh, I'm gonna have some people pissed at me. I can hear it now.
You gonna get some hang-ups tonight?
That's all right.
All right. We are waiting for DJ YB to come back on, hitting the ones and twos for us. Hopefully he'll come back on, and if not, here comes my man right now.
Oh shit.
Right on time. So everyone, thanks so much for joining us. For J. Willie, I'm Mark Jerome, giving you locker room access on the JWILLY Show. And folks, don't forget to check out my man DJ YB every Wednesday night. YB Live with his hypnotic flow.
Take us home, homie. Hey, Mark, hey, the dude is the same size he was as a ninth grader right now to this day. I met him going to 5-star basketball camp, and he's the exact same size he was going into the ninth grade. Unbelievable genes. I hope my kids get those genes.
It's placed a little differently right now because we don't lift weights. I'm not on that regimen anymore, but
hey, look, I don't want to hear that, man. Hey, take us home.
Let's go.
So people who press like a driver. For this, did you really know what I was?